everyone, welcome back to Joe Man's Land. I hope you're having an amazing day. Welcome to the second of the 3 videos I'm putting out as it pertains to the Nikon Z7.
It was this moment that Joey realized that Canon preamps are much hotter than Nikon's. I apologize for this really hot audio.
I'm baking like a toasted cheese here. It's so hot here.
This video would not be possible without the support of the camera store, so shout out to them. Thank you so much for hooking me up with this amazing camera. If you guys are looking for gear rentals inside the city or want to get some of the latest deals on some of the newest products, make sure you visit thecamerastore.com. So if you guys saw my first video, check out my left hand here. It was sort of a B-roll cinematic montage of the Z7 for both photo and for video. In this video, we're going to be going into more of a dive of what this camera is good for, what are some things I like, and what are some things that I maybe don't like. Without further ado, let's hit the streets of Calgary and let's see whether or not the Z7 stacks up in 2023. Let's go. Alright, this is the first vlogging test with the Z7. We are using the 1735 f2.8 at 3.5, holding it an arm's length away. I have to say the ergonomics of this camera are very similar to the Z6, so not feeling too different there. How do you guys like it? Do you think that there's a good separation between me and the background? Marcus is behind me. We're doing lots of fun tests with this tonight. And what we're going to actually be doing is a time lapse. So obviously if you used Nikon cameras in the past, you know there's an auto time lapse feature. This is super handy. Basically it's where the camera takes a whole series of photos for a certain duration of time and stitches it together into a video for you. All right, let's get into what we're actually going to use. So on the camera here, we've got the 70-200 f2.8 version 1 f-mount lens. We've got the FTZII adapter right there to connect it. And then we've got the Z7. Now let's have a look on the top of the camera. We've got set to auto. So we've got set to auto. So that should be nice and easy for setting. Make sure that you're shooting in manual. So as you guys can see, I've got that focus peaking turn on. Kind of a cloudy day, that's all right. So let's go to the menu here and let's get going. So we're in the camera setting. Let's go down, 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 down. It's a couple menus away. Time lapse, movie. Here we go. Usually I would shoot a manual, but because I haven't used the Z7 for this before, we're just gonna rock auto. We've got set for 5-second intervals, 27 minutes. And we are shooting in 4K 30 FX, which means it'll be the full size of the sensor. Let's hit start and let's see what this looks like. So the things I'm loving so far about this camera really is the form factor. When you guys have a look at this, it's about the same size as the Z6, which if you've ever gotten your hands on a Z camera, they just feel solid in the hands. And even though this sensor is about double the size of what's in my Z6, it feels great. Great for urban street photography. It's very small form factor. Even with the FTZII adapter, it isn't bad at all. One rookie move I definitely did make with the Z7, which is what you're seeing me through right now, is I forgot to take off my variable ND. That's definitely something that was handicapping the sensor a little bit in this lower light conditions. But once I took that off, I actually found that it was really sharp and nice and bright through the viewfinder as well as the back LCD panel.
All right, let's have a look at some of these awesome Z7 files and let's see what we can do. This one was shot, as you can see at the bottom here, ISO 800, 1/500, f2.8 at 22 millimeters. I'm not going to use any LUTs or anything like that. Let's just play with the file a bit and see what we can get. So we'll maybe lower the brightness a little bit. Let's raise the saturation. Then let's go to shadows, pump those. Let's get the blacks. All of these are the NEF raw files, so that's looking awesome already. Let's pull away some of the highlights just to clear up the sky. Then let's maybe add a little bit of a dehaze. We'll go to structure, we'll pump the clarity back, and then we'll add a slight vignette, just because the corners of that lens typically vignette a bit, so we'll anti-vignette. All right, that's looking pretty darn good. Let's export this one and let's do a few more. I like this one. This is kind of nice how this is kind of got it framed up here. This was ISO 250 1/500 at 19 millimeters. The sky looks really cool in this. Let's just warm up the image just a bit, maybe add a little bit of a purple tint just to get the golden hour that is in the shot. We'll get some more saturation in there. We'll get the shadows up, and then let's pull back on the highlights just to add a bit more definition to the sky. And then we'll add some structure, get rid of some clarity, and let's get some dehaze. pull down the brightness a little bit. We don't want to make this camera work too hard. Push the shadows just a bit, push the blacks just a bit, pull back on the highlights like that. Let's pull down the clarity just to help with the noise. Add some dehaze, and yeah, that's kind of a neat looking image. I like the warp in the lens there at 17 mil. It looks fun. Portrait again using the 50 mil 1.4 1/250, and this is an ISO of 11,400. Let's see. Okay, it's looking not too bad. I like obviously the bokeh. It's looking nice. Let's warm the image up just a bit. Actually, for this one, let's try using a LUT, because I know I didn't really do that yet. We'll go to color balance. Let's go bright gold or cool orange. Let's go cool orange. That looks kind of cool. All right, let's pull back on the brightness. Again, just a little bit on the saturation. Actually, maybe not quite that much on the brightness. Get the shadows and the blacks up.
All right, this is the ultimate test of how the sensor does in harsh light. How does this look? Is this terrible? Is this great? I don't know. This is a Z7.
All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed today's video going into a bit more on the Z7. My final thoughts is it is a really great camera. And, you know, if you're coming over from a Z6, you're not going to really see any drop in terms of autofocus performance or overall camera feel and aesthetic. The low pass filter not being in there wasn't a big thing, and I did find that in low light it was quite good. Anyways, folks, stay tuned for my third video, which will be coming out next, which will be comparing this camera to the Nikon Z6. Which one should you use? Is one better than the other? Anyways, special thanks to the camera store. Thanks again for sponsoring today's video. We will be doing more content with them moving forwards. If you're looking for gear rentals, you're in Calgary, or you're wanting to see some of the newest products, hit up thecamerastore.com. They've got lots of great resources there. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and remember to take beautiful photos every single day. Don't do it for the views, do it for yourself. And a special thanks to my cameraman Marcus behind me, who's using a Canon R6 to shoot me. I know, it looks awesome. I hate that it looks good. I hate it. I'm an Iconian. Marcus, you are polluting my mind. See you in the next one.
So Marcus, obviously I am the Nikon shooter here. You shoot Canon. What camera are you shooting with tonight?
I'm shooting with the R6, and I've got a 24-70 on right now.
That's awesome. And like, what sort of drew you to Canon in the first place, right? Like, I feel like people have sort of like brand allegiance, right? We kind of beat the drum sort of deal.
So my first camera was a film camera. It was the Canon AE1, and I got that when I was 14. So got used to it, and yeah, fell in love with Canon with that.
Nice.
But I have tried pretty much everything. I love the feel of Nikon more than Canon, but yeah I'm a Canon guy.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy. Okay.